Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Johnson. It wasn't long ago that I had to go to a business meeting with a business associate, and we had some things we had to discuss, and he invited me over to his house for coffee, which was a nice little house. And so I sat down, we had coffee, and had a long discussion, about an hour. I didn't realize that we had so much to discuss, but unfortunately we did. So now within the hour, about 9:30 I suppose it was, suddenly the little girl in pajamas pops up in the living room out of nowhere. It was a small house. And she goes right up to her dad while we were talking and says, "Dad, could you cuddle me and read me a story?" I immediately said, "Oh, I've been here too long. I should be going home anyway. Let me get out of here." He said, "No, no, you stay. You stay." I said, "Well, okay," but against my better judgment, I was about to leave, and he had his little girl get on the couch with him where he was in that living room. And he opened a little book, and he read a little book about some story, some little guy that was in trouble, and somehow the parents had helped him out. And then when he was done reading, he prayed with the little girl. And I prayed with him, of course. And then as I was listening to him read the story and then pray, I thought, boy, this is nice. I'm not married, and I don't have a chance to cuddle my children or sit down with them in the evening and read them a story from God. And then as we were finished and he'd read the story and then said the prayer, he was about to usher her out to her room, I guess. And as he was leaving, she stopped and said, "Daddy, can I ask you a question?" And Daddy said, "What is it?" The little girl said, "What is God like?" And there was a question. I'm glad he asked him and not me. I would have had to think that over a while. But the father did his responsibility and sat back and said, "What is God like?" Well, God is kind. He's very sociable. He makes sure you get all your needs met. He takes care of you. She said, "Does he cuddle you at night?" Well, yes, I guess God does cuddle all of us at night, I suppose. And then he's anxious to help us and to do whatever we can. He does everything he can to help us. The little girl looked at him for a minute, and Daddy said, "Is there anything else?" She said, "No, I was just thinking how much you're like God. God is like you, Dad." And then she went off to bed. I was amused by the thought, and I could tell it was better not to talk and to let whatever was going on ponder emotionally. And as I excused myself and said, "Well, I think we're done. I've been here long enough anyway." As we got up and started to leave, I said, she made me think. I guess God is very much like a loving father. I know it says he is. We say it in our prayers. But that was a pretty deep thing your daughter said. He said, "Oh yeah, it's very deep." But I can't get the thought out of my mind that even though God is loving to all of us, his children, I, a father, am so unlike God, and it's so hard to be like him. Deep words that I decided didn't need any kind of commentary. He didn't need me to talk to him about what he was thinking. He was thinking deep, and he had been moved by his daughter's wanting to have the story read, and so was I. I was moved by the story, but mostly moved by the after fight when I heard what Dad had to say. Very true. We ourselves try to be loving fathers and mothers, but we are so far unlike God. And that's why Jesus in his prayer said, Our Father, which art in heaven.